Good day, grade 9 learners. I am teacher Nur-aine and welcome to our math class. Today we will explore a very important idea in functions and relations like domain, codomain, and range. These three concepts help us understand how values relate to each other not only in math but also in real life situations. So, yes, our focus is identifying valid ordered pairs and classifying them based on domain range relationships. So, let's begin. Before we start, here are our learning objectives for today. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to first identify the domain, codomain, and range of a given uh, relation or set of ordered pairs. Second, appreciate how relationships in math help describe connections in real life situations. And lastly, classify and construct sets of ordered pairs according to correct domain range relationships. So keep these objectives in mind as we go through each slide. So let me ask you, have you tried ordering food using an app like Food Panda or Grab Food? When you pick a food, when you pick a food item, the app immediately shows its price. Your choice of food becomes the input and the price shows becomes the output. The price shown. So this is similar to relations in math. We connect one value to another just like how choosing a food shows its price. So today, we were going to study how these connections work using domain, codomain, and range. So what is a relation? A relation is simply a set of ordered pairs. For example, we have this relation R is a set of 1 and 5, 2 and 7, 3 and 5, and 4 and 9. Each ordered pair contains a first value, which we call the input, and the second value, which is the output. Relations help us understand how two sets of values are connected. So let's learn how to read this relation properly. We have here another example, which is relation R is a set of 1 and 5, 2 and 7, 3 and 5, 4 and 9. We read it as 1 maps to 5, 2 maps to 7, 3 maps to 5, 4 maps to 9. So this helps us see which input connects to which output. Now, let's identify the domain. The domain includes all first elements in the ordered pairs. From our relation R, the domain is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are the inputs. They are the starting points of every pair. Another idea is about the codomain. So the codomain is the set of all possible outputs whether or not they appear in the relation if the relation states that the output may come from 5, 7, 9, and 11. Then that entire set is the codomain. Remember that the codomain is equal to the possible outputs and the range is the actual outputs. So yes, we have here the range, which is different from the codomain because the range is only the actual outputs used in the relation. From R, the outputs are 5, 7, 5, and 9. So removing the repeated values, the range is 5, 7, and 9. So these are the outputs that actually occurred. Now let's visualize the relation using arrows. The inputs are the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we will going to connect it to the outputs, which are the 5, 7, 5, and 9. We can clearly see that 1 map I mean 1 maps to 5, and then 2 maps to 7, 3 maps to 5, 4 maps to 9. So from these arrows, we can confirm that the range is 5, 7, and 9. Now, how do we know if a pair is valid? So a pair is valid if the input is included in the domain, and then the output is part of the codomain. Like here we have, it follows the defined inputs of the relation, and it maps to an element in the codomain. Example, 2 and 7. It is valid because 2 is in the domain and 7 is allowed in the codomain. 8 and 12 is invalid because 8 is not part of the domain. Yes. So yeah, understanding valid pairs helps us classify relations correctly. Now, relations are not just in math, they are everywhere in real life. So domains and ranges appears in school schedules, contact lists, food menus, game controls. So in uh, school schedules, we have the student and the subject. And for the contact lists, we have the name and the phone number. Food menus, we have the food items and the prices. And then game controls, which is the button and the action. So these examples show that domain range relationships help us understand how things are connected. This is why analyzing ordered pair is useful beyond the classroom. Now let's try our first example. Given uh, S is the set of 10 and 20, 11 and 25, and 12 and 30. The domain for that is the 10, the 11, and 12. No, the first values. And then the range is the 20, 25, and 30. The codomain is equal to the given, which is the 20, 25, 30, and 35. Here, 35 is part of the codomain even if it doesn't appear in the range. So yes. For our second example, we have T is the set of 3 and 2, 5 and 4, 7 and 6, and 9 and 8. The domain is 3, 5, 7, and 9, and the range is 2, 4, 6, and 8. All pairs are valid because every input and output fits the definition of the relation. So now it's your turn. Look at the relation. Q is the set of 4 and 12, 15 and 5 and 15, 6 and 12, and 7 and 18. Identify the domain and the range you may think and comment your answers below. For I will give you 30 seconds starting now. Okay, 20 seconds is already done. Let's check your answers. So the domain here is the 4, 5, 6, and 7. Who got the correct answers? Okay, and then the range here is the 12, 15, and 18. So if you got it correctly, great job. If not, review how the domain and range are formed. Now, for your activity, find the domain, range, and check if all pairs are valid. Type your complete answers in the comment section. This will serve as your output for this lesson. So yes, the given is the P is the set of 2 and 9, 3 and 6, 5 and 9, 8 and 12. Find the domain for 20 seconds. I mean, range 20 seconds. State if all pairs are valid 20 seconds. So I will give you a minute. Now, before we end, let's summarize everything we learned today. Domain is all the inputs and codomain are all the possible outputs. Domain are all inputs, codomain, all possible outputs, range actual outputs, ordered pairs show connections, relationships, and pairs can be valid or invalid based on definitions. So this concept help us describe and analyze the relationships in math and real life. So thank you so much for joining today's lesson. Please don't forget to comment your answers to the activity, and see you again in our next video lesson. Goodbye, grade 9 learners.